game between the two rival schools. They played in front of like almost 10,000 people. Game came down to the very last play. Very last play. It's like less than 10 seconds to go. Cortland is trying to kick a field goal to tie the game and send it to overtime. That's when Lockport's Luke Hinton runs on the field. I'll be honest, he's a little late getting on the field. If you watch the video, it's incredible. He gets on, the snapper puts the ball down into the turf. Hinton's got to get up and look for somebody to throw to. This is how it sounded.
5 seconds. Oh, there's the snap. Now they got to run a play. Got it. End zone. Got him. Cortland's going to win the football game. Cortland's going to win the football game. Cortland fans put an open hand up. Have a decade of dominance. Oh, my. Oh, it is madness out there right now. Greatest finish you will ever see.
The greatest finish you will ever see. I love it. That's such a great call. I played it over and over. We happen to have Luke Hinton on the line. How are you, Luke?
I'm doing good. How are you?
What's it like when you hear that again?
It gives me goosebumps, actually.
Now, explain the scenario. Why were you late running onto the field?
Well, I was on the sideline, and usually before we kick a field goal, I have the long snapper, John Sadala, practice snapping the ball to me, but he tore his ACL earlier in the game, so he wasn't able to do it, so I had one of my friends, Tom Hagen, actually throw me a couple balls. So I was on the sideline just practicing that I didn't realize what down it was, and John Sadala actually came up to me, and he was like, "Luke, you got to go onto the field." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And I looked over, and everybody was on the field except for me. So I started running out there with my chin strap on, and I was almost late for the play.
And then you get there just in time. You're set. Everything is actually set. Looks like it might work out just fine. And then you can tell. I mean, the video shot. It's quite a ways away. It's not zoomed in or anything, but it looks like the snapper one-hopped it to you basically.
Yeah, I got down, and I was looking at my kicker to see if he was ready, and the long snapper snapped the ball to me, but when he told me he looked through his legs, he said I wasn't looking at him, so he went to go hold the ball back, but he had to just let it go, so it ended up rolling right into my hands.
And then you just decided, hey, I got to do something with this, right?
Yeah, I looked down and I saw the ball and I was like, oh my goodness. So I picked it up and I looked to my right because I called the play if we have a bad call, I'm supposed to call a pass play to either the left or the right. And I actually called the pass to the right side, but I saw too many people there that I turned around and rolled back the other way. And one of my best friends, he made eye contact with me, and he just started running for the end zone. And I thought I could run it, but I saw him wide open in the end zone. And I wanted to make a sure play, so I threw it to him.
Well, I thought this was incredible, and I watched this a few times. We're going to post the video on our WLVL Facebook page as soon as we're done with this interview. The thing that's interesting is the guy who's on the left end, who you end up throwing this touchdown to, breaks right for the corner of the end zone. But there's somebody else on the end of the line, and I don't know that he's eligible. I don't know. He may be just an offensive lineman. He goes to basically the middle of the end zone, so there's a linebacker or somebody, a safety that's on the very end of the formation, and you can tell he hesitates a minute because he realizes he's got two guys he's got to cover. I don't know that the one guy you could have even thrown it to. Am I right?
Yeah, actually, he is somebody that is supposed to go out for a pass.
Oh, they both are eligible. Okay.
Yeah, because he's on the end of the line, because technically number 7, John Mannix, is off of the line, so the person who is on the end of the line of scrimmage was number 90, Jake Ceresna, and he is able to go out for a pass, even though his number is sort of ineligible. So him being out there, knowing that he was able to catch a pass,
right,
it make the linebacker hesitate, and it gave everything perfect setup for me to throw the ball to John Mannix.
All it took was like one step. That guy just had to hesitate for 1 second, and you had him wide open in the end zone.
Yeah.
When did it finally sink in that the whole thing had happened? Because you're like you said, you're running out of the field. You're not sure what's going to happen. You weren't sure what down it was. Next thing you know, you got people carrying you off, and you just won the game. When did the whole thing finally sink in for you?
Honestly, it probably didn't sink into me till halfway through on Sunday. I watched the video over and over. I honestly couldn't believe that happened. I couldn't believe that he was even me. But just keep watching the video over and over with all my friends. I just couldn't believe it.
Now, for people who don't know this, it's not like you're totally unfamiliar to the position. I know that you played both at St. Mary's of Lancaster and then Canisius, then played your senior year at Lockport High School. If I'm not mistaken, I think was that the year that Danny Bronson got hurt a little and you ended up playing some quarterback, or was there another reason? Didn't you play quarterback for a while?
Yeah, my senior year, Danny Bronson, he got a concussion during our game against Niagara Falls. So I ended up having to play the last 2 games of my senior year against, I think it was Niagara Wheatfield and Jamestown.
So it's not like you're unfamiliar with throwing the ball around. I mean, this is something that you've had to do, but still, out of that position, it's not something that you probably expected.
Oh, not at all. I mean, we practice at least one time a week that if there is a bad snap like that I have to run a play. So, I mean, we were prepared for it, but not prepared for the last second of Cortaca.
All right, now forget all the play, forget all the, I think it was the D3 football play of the week or something, nationally. Now, if you weren't the big man on campus before, you better be now, right?
I guess so, yeah. My teachers give me some
What's that like? I mean, when you go into class, what's that like when you go into class? Do people recognize and talk to you about it?
Some people do, some people don't, and then it somehow gets brought up some way, and then everybody kind of turns around and oh my God, you're the guy? And I was like, yeah, I guess. And then I guess they know now.
Explain to people here who've never been, to that area, the Twin Tiers, that whole downstate region, what the Ithaca-Cortland football game means.
Oh my God. You have no idea. I honestly didn't even know what I was getting into when I came here. We have people, this whole week of practice is, we stop practice a little bit early just so we can have certain alumni and other players come into Cortland and kind of give us the meaning of what Cortland means, and it literally means everything to this town. It means everything to Ithaca. It's the biggest rivalry ever. I think it's even bigger than some D1 schools. And kids from other schools even come here just to watch the game, come here to see what's going on, and they're not disappointed every year. It always ends up some crazy fashion.
It's just funny. It's this wasn't some non-league game against some, scrub opponent. This was I went to Tonawanda. This is TNT times 10, and you happen to throw the winning touchdown on a botched field goal attempt. Luke Hinton, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go watch it again. It was too much fun. Congratulations. Soak it up, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, what a great story. Cal Kern, Ron Race coming up in just a minute. We've got some text messages. We're going to save those until tomorrow. Let's just do it. You've been stuck in the middle with Tim Schmidt here on Hometown 1340 WLVL.